Hello everyone. Today I will present my research proposal entitled Enhancing Speaking Skill of the 10th grade students of SMA and 10 Denpasar in the academic year 2024 to 2025 through Denpasar. Presented by myself, Sukartini, with 3 last MPM 075. The first, in chapter 1, I will explain about research background and research problem. The first, research background. Speaking skill is very important for daily communication with teacher, friend at school and the surrounding environment. Speaking is also crucial to be able to understand the native speaker to get the information about topic in a conversation. It means that students are required to have good speaking skills to understand what they are saying, try to convey such as feeling, thought, and give an insight. In the real situation, in teaching learning process, teacher cannot escape from reality. It occurs because there are some problems faced by the teacher and the student. The researchers preliminary observation shows that the majority of the 10th grade students of SMAN Tanden Pasar encounters the problem in speaking ability. It is found it is found out that still have serious problem in ask or answer question in English. The English teacher reported that most of students cannot share their ideas, thoughts, or even retell the experience in English. Based on the interview with the English teacher of SMA dan Pasar, it was found that the teacher applied a conventional teaching technique. This technique was individual that required the student to complete the task given by the teacher individually. The teacher usually started the class by presenting the learning materials. She then explained that learning materials that was taught. After that, she would give a topic and ask the students to write a short monologue. When the student writing the short monologue, the teacher sometimes did not guide the practices. After completing writing the monologue, the students were invited to perform the monologue in front of the classroom. As a result, the students who are good become much better, while the students are not really good might not understand the learning materials. Based on the condition above, the researcher is interested to conduct the research to the students. By conducting it, the researcher will try to overcome the problems faced by the students in speaking ability and can be proposed to solve the problem of speaking through Think Per Share by Ahrens 2012. Think means the student should think alone the answer about the issue that is given by the teacher. Pair means the students share their answer or opinion about the topic associated to the lesson to their peer. Share means the learners should share their final opinion or ideas about the issues in front of the class. Think per share suitable technique in cooperative learning process because it gives the student opportunity to develop their ideas and enhance the communication to others. The advantages of think pair share is or think pair share belong to a potential technique, therefore the students can feel freedom to express themselves. And also, there is a statement from Lehman and Aaron in 1997 that think per se is good way to change this discourse pattern in the class. This technique that can be applied in teaching speaking because it's useful to encourage students of interact with each other orally. And the second is research problem. Based on the condition above um, that I have explained before, there were some issues in student speaking skills of 10th grade students of SMAN 10 Denpasar in academic year 2024 to 2025. The learners face some problem in speaking, grammar knowledge, comprehension, and fluency. Therefore, the students do not have motivation while joining the learning process in speaking English. They also had less practice English at home or with friends. It means the students are not enthusiastic to join the class and are not interested in it. Also, most of them just keep silent when their teacher encourages them to speak. Thus, all of the mistakes could happen if the students lack of the grammar, vocabulary, comprehension, pronunciation, and fluency. As a result, the researcher formulated the research as follows. Can the speaking skills of 10th grade students of SMAN 10 Denpasar in academic year 2024 to 2025 be enhanced through Think Per Share? Next, in chapter 2, I will explain about theoretical review and empirical review. In theoretical review, I will explain about the speaking skills. According to Guang, 2007, speaking is the ability to communicate orally using a language. This means that speaking is an interactive process in generating, receiving, and processing data. Then, students are expected to have a good communication skills. In speaking, students need to understand the structure of English to express their ideas or opinions, as well as intonation, pronunciation, grammar, and expression. Speaking is a crucial skill to effective communication, particularly when picking up a second language. It entails appropriately pronouncing words and conveying ideas in a way that the audience can comprehend. However, it might be difficult to perfect speaking because of things like performance anxiety, fear of making mistakes, and insufficient interaction with native speakers. Despite these difficulties, speaking is crucial for engaging students in lively discussion, giving them prompt feedback during presentation, and motivating them to enhance their oral communication skills. Effective skills Effective speaking practice is frequently prioritized in favor of listening and understanding in classroom setting, which can leave students with fewer opportunities to properly develop their oral communication skills. Those developing fluency and confidence in an environment where people speak a foreign language requires a comprehensive strategy. And here in this research, the teaching technique is think per se. And the researchers in this research adapted from Aaron 2012. According to Aaron 2012, it is stated that the Think Pair Share strategy has developed from cooperative learning and waiting time research. A specific approach is an effective way to change discourse pattern in the classroom. This strategy is used to provide full opportunity for the students to explore more and more widely. rather than using the question and answer system in whole students. Therefore, the steps of think pair share used in this research we will adapt it from Ahrens 2012. The first is thinking the teacher. In thinking, the teacher gives some topic or picture to the some topics, to the students, then ask them. Then the student should choose one of the name of the artist or people to think about that. Then they should think how to describe that name or the topic. The time given around 4 to 5 minutes each student. In pairing, after think about the topic, the student should have several sentences to describe the topic. Next, they should convey their thoughts or opinion to their pair. The pair has already chosen by the teacher before. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to share with the pair. And the last, sharing. Each students will perform their ideas through short descriptive monologue in front of the class fluently, comprehensively, and grammatically. And next, empirical review. The first research was from Magnifero in 2020 entitled Using Think Pair Share Strategy to Improve Students' Motivation and Speaking Ability of 8th grade at Madrasah 6 Tulungagung. The objective of this study was to find out the implementation of Think Pair Share in teaching speaking at MTSN 6 Tulungagung. The researcher used a short message with card. The second research was from Asmawati in 2013, entitled Increasing Speaking Skill Through Think Pair Share Technique in Junior High School, Labuhan Ratu 8, East Lampung. The objective of this study was to find out the implementation of Think Pair Share in teaching speaking at Junior High School Labuhan Ratu 8 East Lampung. The researcher conducted 2 cycles based on Arikunto in 2007 in the class and used description paragraph. The weakness of both researchers did not clearly mention the theoretical foundation of the implementation of Think Pair Share. It will probably create confusion on both the teacher and the students during teaching learning process. As a result, the student speaking achievement might not be optimally improved. In this research, in this research, the researcher will apply Think Pair Share based on the theory of Arendt's 2012, which has 3 steps. There are thinking, pairing, and sharing. The 3 steps will be procedure implemented when the researcher teach speaking in classroom, so that the student speaking achievement will be expected to significantly improved. Next, in chapter 3, I will explain about 6 content in chapter 3. Number 1 is subject of the study. In this present study, the subject of this present study will be the 10th grade students of SMA N10 Denpasar in academic year 2024 to 2025. The students of 10D class, which consists of 35 students, will be chosen as the subject of this present study. The researcher chose this class to be subject based on the interview with the English teacher that informed the students are still had difficulties to express their ideas orally. In addition, the situation was happened because the students did not know how to speak fluently. Moreover, they also had less understanding to speak a short descriptive monologue with grammatical correct to convey the idea into their speaking. Those, their speaking skill need to be improved. Therefore, in this present study, the researcher applies think pair share in order to solve the problem. Number two is research design. This classroom action research improves the speaking skills of 10th grade students at SMAN 10 Denpasar in the 2024 to 2025 academic year through Think Percent. There are two cycles that will be carried out in this research. Each cycle consists of two sessions. There are four activities in each session, namely planning, action, observation, and reflection. If cycle 1 cannot meet the researcher's objectives, then it will continue with the next cycle until the students who are the subject in this research reach the minimum completeness score. To achieve a minimum complete score, students must meet the specified standard score. Next, research instrument. Research tools are uh, used by researchers to gather necessary and valid data. In this study, the teacher used two instruments in this research, namely tests, which is pre-test and post-test, and questionnaires. Tests are tools used to assess the participants' level of learning and progress through a topic. In the study, two tasks were used pre-test and post-test. The pre-test and post-test consist of giving individual performance in front of the class on certain topics. In this research, researcher used a short descriptive monologue task to determine student speaking skills. The researchers showed several names of artists or people and gives example of how to describe them. Then the students are asked to think about what can be described from the name of the artist or the people they have chosen. Then convey their ideas to their group partners or pairs. Finally, students are asked to perform a descriptive monologue in front of the class. Researcher asked them to describe the name of the artist in 3 to 5 minutes. The results are assessed through an assessment rubric prepared by the teacher regarding fluency, understanding, and grammar. The assessment rubric prepared by the teacher is related to fluency, comprehension, and grammar. The assessment rubric was adapted from Brown 2004. The criteria scale start from 1 as the lowest and 5 as the highest. The researcher assessed the subject performance in speaking based on the assessment rubric criteria. And next, questionnaire. Questionnaire is given to subject with the aim of knowing their responses to application of the think pair share technique in improving their speaking abilities. Questionnaires are typed in Indonesia to avoid misunderstanding regarding the subject matter and make it easier for students to understand the question in its questionnaire. The questionnaire is in column from consisting of 10 items. Students put tick in the questionnaire item column. The questionnaire will be given at the end of the last cycle to find out the responses of 10th grade students at SMIN 10 Denpasar after being given the Think Per Share implementation. Next, the questionnaire consists of 5 choices based on like a skill ranging a scale of 1 to 5, namely strongly agree, undecided, disagree, and strongly disagree. The answer to each item will determine how think per share technique influences students' learning behavior. Next, the data collection. In the process of collecting the data, there are some research instruments used by the researcher to gather the primary data of the present study. The data collection is used to know the progress of the teaching learning process. It is used to answer the research question. There are two kinds of instruments that is used to collect data. They are tests, including pre-test and post-test, and also a questionnaire. The data required in this research is collected using pre-test, post-test, and questionnaires. The pre-test is shared to be done at the beginning of the research. The post-test is given at the end of each cycle, and the questionnaire is shared to be filled at the end of the research. Therefore, there are three types of data collected in this classroom action research, which are described. Number one, data indicating the subject's pre-existing speaking abilities. Number two, data showing the subject's progress in speaking skills. And three, data showing the subject responses toward the utilize of a think per share technique. Next, data analysis. The researcher use the average score formula when pretest and post-test data for all subjects are calculated. Data is obtained from tests given by researcher in the form of pretest and post-test. The average value of research result for all these subjects will be calculated using the following data analysis patterns. Mean score equals total score divided total subject. And, and the results of the questionnaire are calculated to determine the percentage of total responses. Then the result of this research questionnaire will be used to find out and analyze the percentage of student responses to the technique applied. In addition, the results of the questionnaire can be support this research. Therefore, the results of the subject questionnaire will be analyzed descriptively using the formula percentage equals total responses of on item divide the total responses of all item times 100%. The last is success indicator. The indicator of success for this research is when the research has met the minimum criteria of mastery of English lesson at SMAN 10 Denpasar. It is stated that the research would be successful if all 10 grade D 10 grade D students at SMAN 10 Denpasar studying could reach 80% of present study. Based on the curriculum which used at SMAN 10 Denpasar in the academic year 2024 to 2025, the minimum passing score for students in mastering English is 25 points. There are 35 class 35 students in class 10D is selected as a research subject. Therefore, the research is said to be successful in using the think per share technique to enhance students' speaking skill if 28 out of 35 students can achieve a score of 25 points from minimum completeness. Therefore, it can be considered successful and the cycle has ended. And the last, it was my presentation about research proposal. Thank you very much for hearing and watching. See you next presentation. Thank you.